The moment Daniel walked away, I understood something that no amount of money could teach me. He wasn't angry because I'd lied about what I looked like. He was angry because I'd lied about who I was. And in that instant, I had to choose. Keep running from myself, or finally, for the first time in my life, stand still and let someone see me. But let me take you back, take you to the beginning, to the night that changed everything. You ever do something you think is going to protect you, but it ends up destroying you instead? That's what this story is about. A woman who had everything: money, beauty, power. But she was so afraid of being loved for the wrong reasons that she created a lie so big it nearly cost her everything that actually mattered. Stay with the story, hit subscribe, and continue the journey. My name is Sophia Park. I'm 31 years old. I'm a billionaire. Not because I married money, not because I inherited it, because I built it. I created a tech platform that revolutionized how small businesses manage inventory. It's worth $2.3 billion, and it's mine. But here's the thing about being a beautiful woman with $1 billion. Everyone wants something from you. My assistant, David, arranged a blind date. He said I needed to get out more. He said I was becoming a ghost in my own life. "Nobody will want you for your money," David promised. "It's a blind date. He won't know who you are." So I decided to test something. What if I took away everything? The designer clothes, the expensive haircut, the makeup that cost more than most people's monthly rent. What if I looked like nobody? What if I looked like nobody worth knowing? I wanted to know if it was possible for someone to love me. Not my bank account, me. If only I had known how this would destroy everything. I deliberately dressed ugly. I wore an oversized gray t-shirt that didn't fit, jeans with a hole in the knee that I'd actually bought damaged for authenticity. I pulled my hair into a messy bun and didn't wash my face. I used an app to make myself look slightly heavier. Not drastically, just enough. I looked like a regular person, a tired, ordinary person. Looking in the mirror, I didn't recognize myself. For the first time in my life, I felt invisible. The restaurant was a quiet Italian place in downtown Texas. Nothing fancy. David had chosen it specifically because it was casual, a place where nobody looked twice at who was dining. I was early. I sat at a small table by the window and tried to calm my nerves. This was stupid. This was insane. What was I hoping to prove? But I needed to know. I needed it so badly it hurt. Daniel Kim walked into the restaurant, and the air in the room changed. He was handsome, not in a superficial way, but in a way that made you feel something. Tall, dark hair, eyes that looked tired, like he hadn't slept in weeks. He wore a simple black blazer and a white shirt. He looked for me, and when his eyes found me, he paused. I waited for the disappointment, the moment where he realized I wasn't what he'd expected. But he walked straight to my table and smiled. "Sophia?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I'm Daniel. Thank you for coming." He sat down. He didn't stare, he didn't evaluate. He just looked at me like I was a person he wanted to know. "So," he said, "David told me you work in technology." "Yes," I said carefully. "Software development. What about you?" "I'm CEO of a retail company, Park & Lee. You've probably heard of it." I had. It was a mid-size company, successful, stable, nothing spectacular. We ordered food, we talked, and something happened, something I wasn't prepared for. Daniel made me laugh, real laugh, not the polite laugh I gave at charity events, a laugh that came from my belly. He asked me questions about my dreams, about what scared me, about why I worked so hard, and I found myself answering honestly, not the curated version of myself, the real version. "Can I be honest?" Daniel said after the first hour. My stomach dropped. "Of course," I said. When David told me about this blind date, I almost canceled. I haven't had a real conversation with a woman in 3 years. I've had transactions, business meetings dressed up as dates, but I haven't sat across from someone and felt like they actually wanted to know me. He looked directly into my eyes. "You're different," he said. "There's something real about you." I felt tears forming. This was working. This was actually working. We had dinner. Then we walked through the city. The streets were quiet, the night was cool. Daniel held my hand. He didn't try to kiss me. He just held my hand like he wanted me to know he was there. "Can I ask you something?" I said. "Anything." "How many women have you dated who wanted you for your money?" "All of them," he said without hesitation. I thought that's just how it worked. That the only way to know if someone loved you was if you had nothing. If you could stand in front of them with absolutely nothing and they still chose you. "Have you ever tested that?" I asked. "No," he said. "I never found someone worth being that vulnerable with." He looked at me. "Until now. If only I had known that his words would become the knife that cut me open." For 3 weeks, Daniel and I dated. We'd meet in small places, quiet coffee shops, late-night restaurants, parks when the sun was setting. We talked about everything, our families, our fears, our dreams. Daniel told me about his childhood. His father was a difficult man, demanding, only satisfied with success. Daniel had spent his entire life trying to prove himself worthy. "That's why I work so much," Daniel said. "That's why I can't let myself rest, because if I stop moving, I might have to actually feel something." And I listened, and I held him, and I let him believe that I was exactly who I appeared to be. But I was starting to crack under the weight of the lie. One evening, Daniel took me to his office. It was late. Nobody else was there. "I wanted to show you this," he said. "I wanted to show you what I do, who I am." The office was beautiful, all glass and steel. From the top floor, you could see the entire city. "There's something I haven't told you," Daniel said. My heart stopped. "I'm in love with you," he said. "I know it's fast, I know it's crazy, but I am." He got down on one knee. "Sophia Park, will you marry me?" He pulled out a ring, a simple diamond, nothing ostentatious, just honest. I stood there frozen, because in that moment I understood the trap I'd created. He loved me. He was proposing, but he loved a lie. He loved a woman who didn't exist. I couldn't say yes. I couldn't say no. "Daniel," I said. My voice was shaking. "I need to tell you something." "Okay," he said. He looked terrified, like he already knew. "I'm not who you think I am." His face went white. "What do you mean?" "My name is Sophia Park. That part is true, but everything else? I've been lying." I told him everything. About the app I created, about the money, about deliberately dressing down for the blind date to test him. Daniel listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was very still. "You lied," he said finally. "Yes." "For 3 weeks you lied to me." "Yes." "Why?" "Because I needed to know if you could love me without my money." "And what was the answer?" he asked quietly. "Have you figured it out?" "Yes," I said. "Yes, you can. You do. I know you do." "No," Daniel said. His voice was cold. "I don't. Because I don't know who you are. I fell in love with someone who doesn't exist." He turned away. "This is over." I tried to call him. He blocked my number. I showed up at his office. His security turned me away. I sent emails that he didn't answer. And I realized something that my money had never bought me before. Regret. Real, consuming, soul-crushing regret. I'd had something real. For the first time in my adult life, someone had loved me without knowing my bank account. And I'd destroyed it. I'd destroyed it on purpose. I'd sabotaged the one real thing I'd ever had. David found me in my apartment 3 days later, sitting in the dark. "What happened?" he asked. "You went on one date and now you won't talk to anyone." I told him everything. "So let him go," David said. "He's right to be angry. You lied to him." "I know. And you need to accept that maybe he's not going to forgive you." "I know. But that doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. You needed to test this. You needed to know." "I did know," I said. "Deep down, I always knew he loved me. I was just too scared to believe it." 2 months passed. I didn't date. I didn't go out. I threw myself into work, trying to numb the pain. Then my lawyer called. "There's a problem," she said. "Someone has been accessing confidential information about your business. Someone from the inside." My stomach dropped. "Who?" "We're not sure yet, but it looks like someone is trying to sabotage your company. They're leaking proprietary code to competitors." I thought about everyone in my circle: David, my executives, my family. Then the lawyer sent me a name. It was Daniel's business partner, a man named James Lee. And there were messages between James and someone on my team offering money for information about my company. I called Daniel. He finally answered. "My company is being sabotaged," I said, "by your business partner." "I know," Daniel said quietly. "What?" "James came to me 2 months ago. He wanted to invest in a venture that would exploit your company's weakness. He said he'd do it himself, but he wanted my backing, my name." "And you said yes?" "No," Daniel said. "I said no, but I didn't stop him either. I knew what he was doing, Sophia. I knew he was trying to hurt you, and I let him." The line went silent. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because I've spent 2 months angry at you, and I realized something. You lied to me about who you were, but your lie was about protecting yourself. James's lies, my lies by inaction, were about hurting you, about revenge." His voice cracked. "I became exactly what I was afraid of, a man willing to do anything to punish someone he claimed to love. I had to make a choice. I could let James and Daniel face legal consequences. I could protect my company and destroy them both. Or I could be the person I was pretending to be during that blind date, the person who valued honesty over revenge. I filed a police report against James, against his crime. But I didn't press charges against Daniel for his complicity. When my lawyer found out, she was furious. "He was going to help destroy your company," she said. "How can you not want justice?" "Because justice and revenge aren't the same thing," I said, "and I'm tired of using my power to punish people." James was arrested. He faced federal charges for corporate espionage. Daniel stepped down from his position as CEO. He sold his shares in the company. He cut all ties with the business. He was ruined, publicly humiliated. His family abandoned him. Everything he'd built with his own hands destroyed, just like I'd nearly destroyed everything we had. 6 months after Daniel stepped down, I got a letter. It was handwritten, on simple paper. His handwriting was shaky. "Sophia, I've been trying to figure out how to say this, how to apologize, how to ask for forgiveness. But then I realized something. This isn't about apologies. This is about truth. The truth is, I was angry at you because you made me feel stupid. You made me feel like I wasn't good enough to know the real you. So I lashed out. I hurt you. And I tried to destroy what you'd built because I was terrified that I'd destroy it accidentally. But I've been watching, from a distance. I've seen how you handled James, how you chose mercy over revenge, how you've been changing your life. And I realized something else. The woman I fell in love with on that blind date, she does exist. She's you. All of you. The billionaire. The woman in the ugly t-shirt. The woman who's brave enough to face her own mistakes. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm just asking you to know that I see you now. Really see you. And I still choose you. Daniel. I read that letter over and over. I cried. I raged. I cried again. Because in that moment, I understood what the blind date was really about. It wasn't about testing whether Daniel could love me without my money. It was about testing whether I could love myself. Whether I could believe that I was worthy of love exactly as I was. Not the billionaire version, not the humble version, all of it. The scared parts, the ambitious parts, the parts that lied because she was terrified of being known. And I realized that Daniel had already taught me that lesson. In the way he looked at me, in the way he held my hand, in the way he loved me even when I didn't deserve it. I went to find Daniel. He'd moved to a small town outside the city. He was working as a consultant, helping small businesses, living a quiet life. When he answered the door, he looked like he hadn't been sleeping. "Hi," I said. "Hi." "Your letter," I said. "Did you mean it?" Every word. I've spent my entire life building things, I said. Companies, wealth, walls to protect myself. But I never built anything that mattered, not until I met you. I took a breath. I lied to you because I was afraid that if you really knew me, you wouldn't want me. But the truth is, I was afraid of wanting you, really wanting you, because if I let myself want you, I'd have to be vulnerable, and I've never been good at that. Daniel stepped forward. Sophia. Let me finish, I said. I'm not the woman from the blind date anymore. I'm not the billionaire pretending to be nobody. I'm something in between. I'm someone who's learning that power isn't about how much money you have. It's about how much of yourself you're willing to show to another person. I looked at him. I choose you, I said, not as an experiment, not as a test, but as a choice, every day. I choose you. Daniel kissed me, and it wasn't gentle, it was hungry, like he was trying to reach something inside me that had been locked away for years. We got married in a small ceremony, just family and close friends. No press, no spectacle, just two people making a choice. I restructured my company. I brought in a new CEO, a woman I trusted completely. I moved to a position where I still had influence, but I wasn't running myself ragged trying to prove something to my father, to the world, to myself. Daniel started his own consulting firm. It was smaller than his previous company, but he said it was more fulfilling. He was helping people, not chasing success for its own sake. We bought a house together, not a mansion, a small house with a garden. We cooked together on weekends. We took walks. We built a life that wasn't about proving anything to anybody. One evening, I was getting ready for dinner. Daniel came into the bedroom and wrapped his arms around me from behind. You know what I realized? He said. What? I fell in love with you 3 times. How do you figure that? I asked. The first time was on the blind date, when you would dress down and I thought you were just a regular person trying to live a real life. And the second time? When you told me the truth, when I realized you were brave enough to admit you were scared. And the third time? Right now, he said, every day, because you keep choosing to be honest, and that's braver than anything else. I turned to face him. I love you too, I said, for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. We were having dinner with David and his new partner. I was telling them the story of how I'd met Daniel. So you deliberately made yourself ugly? David's partner said, laughing. That's insane. It was, I agreed, but it was necessary. I needed to know that I was enough. Just me, not my money, not my status, just me. Daniel reached for my hand under the table. And? David asked. Was he? Was he what? I asked. Enough. Did he choose you? I looked at Daniel. He did, I said, and I finally chose myself. That was the real blind date, I realized, not the one where I didn't know who Daniel was, the one where I didn't know who I was, and it took meeting someone who saw me, really saw me, to finally see myself. Don't miss our next story. Hit like and subscribe and keep the episodes going.